Hi friends, Happy New Year! Welcome to 2021. I wanted to take an opportunity, even though this is primarily going on my blog, I wanted to take an opportunity to talk to you guys about some of the lessons that I learned last year throughout 2020. You know, it sounds cliche because we've been saying it so frequently, but 2020 was really one of the hardest years that most of us have had, between all of the things that kicked off this year with fighting police brutality, a resurgence of saying, hey, Black and Brown lives matter, and issues around immigration, all leading up to COVID-19 taking our country by storm, and all of the things that have come along with that, through protesting for Black lives to be treated equally, people who are protesting against shutdowns and protesting against having to wear masks, with everything shutting down, people losing jobs, people losing family members and friends and loved ones. It has been such a hard year, I feel like with many things, at least for me, that were so not anticipated. I really was coming into 2020 strong, I felt like. I was very much ready to pursue some passions and goals. I started looking into becoming a doula, really passionate about that and following through with a program. And I was talking to people who are already doing that, and I was really hoping to get into that. We were living in Washington State, trying to kind of dig deeper into our community, get more established, and lots of different things happened this year that totally shifted my axis, made me have to think about what was really important in my life, what were the things that were worth fighting for, and what were the things that I was willing to give other things up for. And for those of you who have been following along with my journey over the past year, you know that we made the choice in the middle of the pandemic to move to Texas so that we could be closer to family, to help out with some elderly family members, as well as to help out with some ministry opportunities here. And that was kind of a quick decision that meant we had to rush. And in the middle of that rush of moving during a pandemic, we also had my husband go to the hospital, and he found out that he had type 2 diabetes, and though it's reversible, it's a really hard, long journey, or it has been, and it's felt that way. And it was very unexpected and very surprising to us, with how it happened and when it happened. And then it was within a week of that we were moving to Texas. Shout out to my sister. If you've seen my YouTube, you can go to my YouTube channel, and we have videos. Well, Freddie and I have lots of travel videos, but there's one travel video of me and my sister going from Washington to Texas, and that was an adventure all in itself. And then we got here, and moving in the middle of a pandemic with, jobs being restricted and things like that, we have had a hard time, just like so many other people. And I know that even through all the trials that we went through this year, all the trials I went through personally this year, there's always someone out there who is going through more. And so I don't want anyone to take that lightly. Like, 2020 was hard. It was very hard for all of us. It met us where we were at, and it drug us through. And now that year is over, and I am sitting here in my personal life trying to figure out if that season is over. The year is over as far as that circle of time, that turn of the world. But we're here in 2021, and there is a pandemic still. There are things that are struggling still, but the beginning of a new year is always such a marker, such a time to kind of refocus. And so while I reflect on how hard and difficult last year was, I also want to reflect on the lessons that I've learned. And I wanted to share some of those with you. One of the really important lessons that I learned, and something that I've been wanting to talk about on the blog, I've just been having a hard time finding time, finding time and energy to write about, is my involvement. I got more heavily involved with activism in 2020 than I had been in a more tangible way. I couldn't physically, because when we were figuring out what COVID looked like, and I knew I was high risk because of some of my health issues, I was staying inside, and I really was passionate about what was happening, and I wanted to play a part. And so I started calling government officials, campaigning online as much as I could, but being the hands and feet of that people who are protesting physically can't. So making those phone calls from my home, sending emails, doing more like logistic type stuff, which I hadn't done as far as like protesting and trying to be a conduit for change. I hadn't really done more of that administrative type stuff before, and so I was focused on that this year. And I also did some more stuff via social media, having conversations on YouTube, which I am hoping, for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, I am hoping to continue with my Amplify Our Voices series. And I am still extremely passionate about centering Black voices, and I think those are the voices that I am still primarily going to be focusing on. However, I am also going to be sharing stories and experiences of people who come from other minority communities or alternative communities. And so I'm hoping to just amplify voices of people who I feel need to be heard. And a lot of those are going to be Black voices, because while there was a lot that happened in 2020, I feel like so much of it is yet to be resolved. A lot of it is unresolved. There's still a lot of tension, a lot of things that need to be done. And so I want to amplify the voices of the people who are doing that work, so that you who are out there watching can know who those people are, and to help connect people to make a bigger network of people trying to be conduits for change. So I'm going to be working on that this year. That's one of my hopeful, fingers crossed, goals in 2021. I'm also hoping this fall to finally actually get started on my doula program. Again, 2020 was crazy, so it pushed all of my plans back. But that's something I still want to do, something I want to pursue, becoming a doula for before, during, and after birth, as well as I've been looking into what it would take to become a death doula or an end-of-life doula, and so that's something that I've been researching and reading about. I also, this past year, learned a lot about what it means to be humble, and how to take criticism that other people approach me with, how to take criticism and kind of learn from it, glean things from it, so that I can change how I do things to make myself better, but also make the work that I do more encompassing and more valuable. So for instance, while I was working for the month of June, while I dedicated that month of June to doing activism work solely, and thank you so much again for all those people who supported me in doing that. While I was working on that, there was a point in time where I was kind of working on an intersectional project between race and faith and feminism. And while I was working on that project, while I was kind of focused in that area, there was someone who kind of who sent me a message, because I messaged tons of people inviting them to this group I was a part of. And there were some people who wrote back, but one person in particular who wrote back and was like, hey, this space doesn't seem safe for me or people like me, and I think you need to be careful with what you do. And it was like it was at first really hard when I saw that. I was taken aback. Part of me was crushed because I was like, I'm doing a good thing here. Another part of me was like, is this person negating a part of my own identity, which they weren't. This person was totally in their right to say and do what they did. And after having a little bit more of a conversation with that person, and thinking about it more and thinking about experiences where I have had to be that person, I realized, no, I need to humbly approach the situation and tell them, yes, you're right, and I'm going to learn from you, and to sit down and learn. And I think while I have learned to be active, this past year I was very active in multiple different kinds of circles around feminism, faith, and race. It is important for me as a person who is interested in those things and wants to see forward momentum for those things. It's important for me to be able to learn. And so I really learned this year, that experience was kind of the kickoff for learning about how to be humble and how to learn from other people regardless of how they approach you. And it's not easy. It's not an easy lesson to learn. It took me that happened around the end of June or beginning of July, I think. And so it took me probably until September or October to really feel like, okay, approach all of these things with a humbleness. And so 2020, if anything, taught me how to be humble and how to stay connected via distance a little bit better, and which is something I'm still working on. And so for 2021, I'm hoping that I can kind of take this humbleness I learned and, number one, not forget it, because when you forget to be humble in the kind of work that I'm passionate about, you can easily get swept away or get caught up in egotistical type points of view. And that's an exact opposite of the things that I believe in and want to work forward towards. So yeah, that's one of the biggest lessons I learned in 2020, is that, I have spaces where my voice needs to be amplified, but there are also spaces where I need to be able to be humble and approach others from a place of wanting to learn, not a place of teaching. And so there's time for me to teach and there's time for me to learn. And that's what I'm hoping to carry with me into 2021. Yeah, sorry. I'm like saying a lot, guys. This is the longest video I've done, especially solo, for a while. But I wanted to post something on the blog, and I just have not had the bandwidth for thinking through articles. And so I'm going to be posting a few more videos to the blog, not just under Amplify Our Voices. I'm going to be posting more videos to my YouTube page. And I'm hoping to start again doing Facebook Lives as well. So those are some things, if you're looking to see what you can expect from me this year, those are some things you can expect from me in 2021. I am looking at you guys to help keep me accountable to that. If you haven't seen anything from me, drop me a message and be like, hey, what you doing? Haven't seen anything. Yeah, in the comments, let me know what was your biggest takeaway from 2020. I know a lot of us were grieving. A lot of us were trying to find safe spaces and also find spaces that we could be heard. And I think coming up in 2021, like, I want to focus on being a conduit for change and a conduit for love, which sounds something that's very cliche to say right now, but I think the world right now needs to see a lot more love and a lot more collaboration. So those are some things I need to work on this year. What about you? I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment if you're seeing this posted on the blog. Leave a comment. You can leave a comment if this is on YouTube. I'm going to try to post this everywhere just so I can kick the year off right. And yeah, I'm wishing you a very happy 2021 and hope that this year is just full of all of the things that you need specifically this year. So God bless. Hope everyone is doing well. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Bye.